Hey guys, welcome to another Grand Chase video, and today we're going to be checking out the new maintenance announcement that came out today. It's kind of weird because I feel like I've just made the maintenance announcement from last time. Like, I feel like it was yesterday. And with the anniversary coming up like next corner, I think it's like on the 27th, I think. It's been a while, I don't remember. We're going to also be receiving a few events dedicated to the anniversary. I'm not sure if everything we're going to be receiving here is the anniversary event, considering how, again, it's like 2 to 3 weeks from now, but still we're going to be checking out this event here because there are some things here that are pretty interesting to talk about, but some of the things here we kind of need to give some thoughts here. That being said, if you enjoyed this video and like to see more Grand Chase in the future, you're more than welcome to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because we do Grand Chase content here at least once a week. And here's something funny for you: the next video in this channel is not going to be Grand Chase related. For once, I've been saying this so many times, and now I'm finally be able to do something that is not Grand Chase related. So hope you guys are excited for that. And without further ado, let's just jump right in. So the first thing they talk about here, like literally the face of the entire update here, is the Abyssal Path. Never thought I would see the day we're going to be talking about this event anytime sooner again, but apparently they're actually doing improvements to Abyssal Path, including some difficulty revamps. So most of it feels a bit the same as far as I can kind of remember myself. The more you go and the more you clear the level, the more stronger and more tougher the monsters become. But the one thing here that they talk about is that they reclassify existing difficulty levels. So stage 0 essentially becomes levels between difficulty 1 to 10. Then stage 2 becomes difficulties from level 11 to 86. Stage 2 from 100 and 138. And then stage 3, it just says new challenge difficulty, which I'm assuming it's like 129 and above, maybe? I'm not really sure, but I'm assuming it's just like the absolute difficulty of the difficulty sort of stuff. There's also going to be seems to be like a new special stage, which as we can see right here, we have a new enemy in here as well, which he looks... honestly, he looks really cool. And then we have Urka here on the side, which personally we don't talk about him. When the A rank boss from Mobile suddenly becomes the elite boss in Mo Classic. So the way these special stages work is that they appear as starting from stage 2 or higher. These stages can show up every second stage during your run. So whatever you just at the second stage, it can just happen. Doesn't matter where, it just happens. And all of them include some unique mechanic that may require some strategic play. So for instance, they only mention here that we require some mechanics like dodging, rapid suppression, resource management. Only time will tell how these battles are gonna go, like, because sincerely speaking, I'm not really sure myself how this is gonna go. Abyssal Path already was kind of a challenge in itself, so being an even more challenging event is already kind of a interesting challenge, I suppose, making the hard thing like hard plus. And they also seemingly changed the rewards for Abyssal Path. Now they're including a weekly high score reward, very similar to a Land of Judgment. The more you score, the more points you get and the more rewards you get. It's essentially like this, where the higher you go into the Abyssal Path, the better rewards you collect. And this seems to go for all characters on the account, so you don't really need to like play with Elisis and then play with Aizen and then play with Khaled and then play with Uno. It's only one character here, it seems like. And as you can see right here, they are including new items as well that we collect. One of them being the new Bullion called the Abyss Bullion. And now at the Hero Shop, there's an entire new section called the Abyss Items, which with this coin, you essentially are able to get all these 7 rewards at the moment. There is a page 2 here, but considering how there's only 7 things here, I don't think there's like a second page. I think this is just kind of an error in their part. That doesn't make sense, unless there is something in there that we are not supposed to see yet. But yeah, as you can see right here, these are the 7 rewards we can get. They also have a card of the Green Reaper, which is the name of the new enemy that we're going to be receiving, as well as the title called One Who Overcome Death. Pretty badass naming here, but that price over there is anything but badass. They're also adding new 89 cards to the collection, which I would go out of my way to tell what they are, but like most of them are just the same enemies we've seen already, but with the title of Abyss in front of them. So the only one here that is worth talking about is the Abyss Green Reaper, which is the new boss, but the rest, as far as I can tell here, it's mostly the same. The Troll Abyss, and all these cards can be obtained by the Abyss card box, as I talked before, and that's available in the shop. And you can also get the Green Reaper card with a chance after you beat stage 3. Very similar to stuff like the Gaian card and even like the Abyssal Path boss itself. So nothing much different there. And one last improvement here that they added here that I think is pretty nice is that the players can now view the rewards during the dungeon run. So now every time I think you know how many you've got, and you can just basically decide whether you want to tap out or not, which I think is pretty nice to at least get an idea of this. And they also seem to like change the boss appears every 3 stages to increase the battle immersion, which is kind of a weird thing that they talk about here, because as far as I remember, the bosses appear every like 4 stages. I think that's what it was, but I don't know, considering how they are referability things, maybe this could like mean something different. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait and see here, but I suppose now the boss comes a little sooner. And that was it basically for the new re-improvements of the Abyssal Path. The rest of the update here, they talk about the 4th anniversary and the events that we're gonna be receiving like tomorrow. So one of the things they to talk about here is the giveaway event, which is something that they did this as well last year, and they're doing it again. So essentially how this works is that we're gonna be receiving this 4th entry ticket by just playing the game. And basically we just have a win chance to get merchandise of our choosing. It just kind of bothers me because they don't talk about what the rewards can be here. I mean, they probably talk about this later, maybe at the anniversary or whenever somebody wins. But you know, just going in there not knowing what you can get is a little bit of a kind of a weird thing for me. I feel like they could include pictures to not only show us but also motivate people to even participate in this. But yeah, this event is pretty simple. All you do is just get this ticket, and then a few days later they pick the people who has the ticket, and then they randomly pick the winner. It's pretty simple, really. It's not much to talk about here. And we're also going to be receiving new load images that they did based on their fan art contest that they hosted on their Discord. And we're also going to be receiving a special attendance log, and where essentially when you play the game for 30 minutes to receive your daily login rewards, you can also then acquire a 4th special anniversary Cordy select box, a 4th anniversary pet select box, a 4th anniversary Cordy for 21 days select box, and other various rewards. Very similar, I think, to what was last year, what essentially gave you like a free Cordy set. But this one, it seems like it's going to be a very specific one because they mentioned the select box, and what that means to me is that I think we're going to be able to select what our Cordy is for free, and you can also get all parts after you log in for 15 days. And just to show how much this is a good thing, this event started on July 28th and it ends on August 20th. So you have like plenty of time to get these parts, and you need to do this for only 15 days, which is not that bad. And we also have the 4th anniversary buff event, which is essentially the rainbow event, where starting from July 28 to July 29, which this is I guess where the anniversary is, we're going to be receiving experience plus 50%, GP 50%, drop rates per 30%, enhancement rate plus 30%, necklace and anklet and reinforcement plus 30%. So if you need some sort of like grind for experience, GP, or even enhancing stones like I'm going to be using it, July 28 and July 29 is the dates. So make sure to do these there because this is going to be the perfect day for that. They're also including some sort of a weekly challenge of some sorts that's going to be starting tomorrow and then going until July 30. We're going to have to play Infinity Cloister and Abyssal Path to get some rewards. Some of these challenges are actually kind of a little bit worrisome for me. Like, they're basically telling me to challenge stage 4 and then defeat stage 4 duel 3 times. And they are giving you like 5 GP property scrolls. We also got the same stuff basically from Abyssal Path. We get the defeat Abyssal Dominator, defeat Green Reaper, Goblin Defense Wall 5 times, which I think is the one with Urka. Defeat Cyclops and then Urka one time. Oh, never mind. There's Urka. And defeating these guys apparently will give you stuff that is related to the new rewards you get in the Abyssal Path, like the Bullion, the card box, the normal average box. But defeating the Abyssal Dominator, it seems like we're going to be receiving the Stones of Transformation. This is like 120 of these stones. It's not bad. I feel like it could have been a little better. And that was basically it. And now here they talk about the new event that we're going to be receiving. One of them being the Glorious and Savior attendance log, which unfortunately here, nothing much changed compared to last time. We do have still the magnet, which is pretty nice to see that this is something we're going to be receiving like every attendance log now. GP property scrolls here, as well as the reinforcement scrolls, which we're going to go back into the vanilla version of it. The first one is 0 to 15, the other is 16. But the other difference here is that we're getting a new title called the Golden Child, I think that's the name of it. It says right here. That is very much based on the Capsule Summon event, which, speaking of the devil, he is right down here. So we're also going to be receiving, again, the Capsule Summon event, an event that I personally really enjoyed. I think it's one of the best events that we can get here in the game because there's always some great rewards, which for those who don't know how this event works, is pretty simple. I would say it's more simple than bingo itself. Essentially, you collect 3 coins. The way you collect these 3 coins is by either a daily login, completing special dungeons, Harrier, and other world dungeons. To acquire only 1, you can get 5 per day. Clear the weekly chain missions that they also do for these sort of events. You can get maximum of 10 with this way. And these missions are nothing too difficult. All I have to do is just do special missions at least like 23 times on total. And basically when you have 3 of these coins, you then are allowed to summon a capsule. And depending on the color of the capsule, you get different rewards. For instance, the blue capsule gives you stuff focused on reinforcement scrolls. Like as you can see right here, we get the 0 to 15, 16, 17, property scrolls, single property scrolls, release scrolls, Demon Ure for some reasons in here, but that's something you can get here. The red one is more focused on card boxes with This one also including a boss pet crafting treasure chest, which I think is something you get from the Pet Rebellion event, but I'm not really sure if this is the one. Purple gives you stuff that is related to the Void, as well as some other fragments that you now can get on the Explosion of Conan, I believe. This one I think is that one. And the gold one basically can give you everything in this list. So essentially if you get the yellow one or golden, you basically like get the jackpot, because you get at least one of every item as far as I remember. They also talk the accumulated summon rewards, which change a little bit compared to last time. One of them being the new item, which I just call it the speedrun ticket because I don't remember the name of it, which is pretty nice considering how in the last video I did mention that I was gonna be a little bit annoyed if this items is going to be mostly focused for battle pass stuff, but it doesn't seem like to be the case. We're going to be apparently receiving this every event, which I think it's nice. Maybe we could have received 10 instead of 5, but you know, it's still good nonetheless. And they also introduced a new chest over here. I mean, I've never seen this chest, so I'm assuming it's new, called the Premium Another World card box, where essentially you open this chest and then you get the chance of getting a Gaiden card, an Astaroth card, or the Chaotic Witch card. 3 of currently the best cards we have in the game. And here we have the new Cordy set that they're introducing called the Carry Beach Vacation. That's going to be starting tomorrow. And here we have the new attack of the pet called Tubby, which pretty interesting. Seems like it has like a big range upwards as well. And for the returning Cordys, we're going to be starting from July 16 to August 6, which funny enough, July 16 is my birthday. We're going to be receiving Spring Fairy and Lunar Night Hunter. Starting from July 23rd to August 13th, we're going to be receiving Wind Chaser and Sea Dragon King. And here to talk about bug fixes and a few other improvements that they're introducing now because of this event. So now the Monster Card Collection max level has expanded to 2,500. Me not even being close to it. They also did some improvements on the skill tree, but these are mostly visuals. I don't feel like it's that much interesting to talk about personally. They also included a warehouse available marker added, which it's strange for me because I feel like they added this already. I don't know why we're talking about this again. But one little cool detail here that they added here, which you can kind of already tell here, is that now reinforcement equipment will be displayed with colors. Depending on what level of your reinforcement your equipment is, the different colors it appears instead of the usual font that they had for this. And then we usual stuff here at the end, we have Canopy, Kiki, and Royd for their pet balance, and probably the next pets we're going to be receiving soon. Other fixes here, I think most of these are just also visual, as they mostly are. The one thing here that I can worth talk about is that now the Portuguese voice for Rin, Lime, and Uno are going to be coming up, which it's funny because I didn't mention this, but it's the awakening skills for the Portuguese voices. So yeah, it's not that they don't have Portuguese voices, it's just the awakening quotes. I forgot to mention that. And that was basically it for the maintenance announcement. Not much for me to talk about it here. If I can be honest though, I think this event wasn't, like, for the most part, I would say it wasn't bad. We got a new stage for Abyssal Path, we got a new entire mechanic with the coins, new rewards we can also buy with these coins, the capsule event, which I also highly appreciated. I still say it's one of the best events in the game, like I mentioned before, just because it has so many good rewards you can get just playing it, and mostly for free. So the Cordy I also think is pretty nice. I mean, we are reaching summer, which I think is pretty appreciated for this. Not in Brazil, we're approaching winter, which I think if any of us use this in Brazil, we're just dead on sight because it's so cold out here, man. And the smaller improvements, if I can be honest, for a 4th anniversary, I think there could have been a little bit more instead of just, you know, cool text for us to see. But other than that, I think the event is okay. However, there's just small little things here that, as always, it kind of like, you know, it bites me in the ass. Like, for instance, apparently the Abyssal Path difficulty now changed a little bit. The minimum is now 500k and the maximum is 1,200,000, which pretty tough, I would say. I don't think like most of us are already in there. I mean, I'm still kind of stuck at the 1 million, which after Duel Stage 4, it kind of makes me a little scared to just kind of expect what the hell are we going to be receiving, if it's going to be something too bullshitty or just too annoying. Because again, Abyssal Path has time limit, and I'm not much of a fan of time limit stuff, specifically for Grand Chase. Though to be fair, I don't think Abyssal Path is by any means a difficult level, it's just more annoying. And when it comes to the new Abyss Bullion, I did joke about we getting a new bull and all this stuff, but honestly, I kind of like this new Abyss item shop here, specifically the Elite Rune Summon chest, which dare I say it's a quote-unquote new update for the rune system. Like, I don't think we receive anything new for the rune system in a long time. Like, ever since that thing dropped, like, nothing like impactful update came up. Like, it just came dead on arrival. It kind of makes me hopeful that this becomes like, I don't know, like something we get like guaranteed legendary runes maybe. I kind of want to say tier 5, but considering this pricing here of 15, I'm not really sure what this one's gonna be. We're just gonna have to wait and see here, and I wish they would talk about this as well, but a lot of this information here is not mentioned at all, so it's just kind of speculation from my part. I really wish this chest right here is like only available for like the best of the best runes. It's not something that like, oh, tier 1. I really hope that this one at least has like, if not tier 5 exclusive, at least like tier 4 to tier 5. And it also makes me curious to know more about this Abyss box. It's going to be the same thing that we have in Harrier, but mostly focused on the Abyss content, as well as the title. Really, I wish I could know more about the stats of the titles. And considering how this one's like 100 coins, maybe we're seeing like maybe the new best title in the game, question mark, as well as the new card here, and is also gloves and weapons. It would make sense considering how much they're like giving us for free Gaian cards. As much as I want to speculate this is going to be the best card, I don't want to like bring false hope to people. So remember to take just my word of speculation, because I'm not sure. They don't talk about any of this. I read this on my own, but they don't mention any of this stuff here. These challenges, I would say, is a little bit tricky because this isn't for everybody. The rewards, honestly, I don't feel like it's that good for the most part. I mean, just doing like stage 3 duel and then getting 3 property scrolls, I think that's okay. But doing stage 4 for 5 property scrolls, I don't think that's worth it. Honestly, if you can do duel 4 3 times, you don't need property scrolls. At this point, you probably need single property scrolls. So getting this one to me doesn't make sense. I would also talk about, I guess, Demon of Yore potions. I feel like we could maybe get something better than this. I don't think these potions are bad by any means. They can always be helpful in their own specific situation. But, you know, we can always get something better, you know, and keep these potions for stuff like the capsule event or something like that. Like if you look at the Abyssal Path missions, it does make sense, right? You get the Awakening Stone transformations, you get stuff related to the Abyss. Like if anything, I think now that I look at the Abyssal Path, maybe what they could do is just like give you GP property scrolls for just challenging it, and then if you beat duel, you get stuff like the fragments for the rings. Like, I don't know, do stage 4 and you get the Unkeepable Promise or the new one that they released a few weeks ago. This part right here of the Infinite Cloister just felt a little bit weird for me. But don't get me wrong though, I think this is good, but considering how complicated Infinite Cloister is in itself, these rewards here could have been so much better. And for the capsule itself, like I mentioned, I don't have anything wrong against it, but the one thing here that I really kind of need to be like a little annoying about this, and possibly a little bit greedy on it, is the new Premium Otherworld card box. Like, I don't have anything against being able to get the best cards in the game this easily, but the fact that it's only one of them randomly as well, like you don't get like these 3 at a time, you get only one of these 3 cards. I personally think this sucks, specifically when the anniversary is like coming up pretty soon. Like I get that it's easy to get these cards because you can just get them with the fragments for their own respective levels, but like it's so many that you need for these that like it's kind of a patient test more than anything. Remember that you need like at least like 8 of these cards if you have like the void set and everything. It's like an extremely drainful grind that it sometimes can take a long time. Like I would say maybe like 2 months, maybe, considering how now you can like switch warehouse for Gaian at the very minimum, but for Asprof and Chaotic Witch, I'm seeing like maybe 4 months just to get these cards. And I think if we could get like these 3 cards at once, it would have been better. But you know, considering how usually the anniversary updates are like something that like big, you know, it's something that makes the people go and play the game, it feels like a little bit like cut in half content, you know. I mean, come on, we're getting like a free Cordy set by just getting in for 30 minutes. Why is a free Cordy set in comparison to like getting the 3 best cards in the game? The cake was there, but like they like kind of remove it from you before you can even cut it. Although don't get me wrong, it is pretty good that we have this, but considering the situation that we are, it could have been better in my opinion. And yeah, overall, that's basically it for the event. Overall, I am excited to do this, specifically go back to the Abyssal Path, because I also have to finish up the Awakening for some of the other characters, because it's like, after the Awakening update, I never touched Abyssal Path since, so it would be pretty nice to go in there and just finish the rest of the Awakening update as well for these characters. So I'm excited to go back to it, and maybe we'll record doing the new stuff as well, because this seems to be pretty interesting. Really excited to see the new boss and the new challenge that we have in here. I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be on solo, but we're going to just, you know, jump in and see what we can do there. So yeah, overall, excited for it, but also wish there was more considering the anniversary coming up. Maybe they are going to add new stuff when the anniversary gets close to it, but that's something we're just going to have to wait and see. So yeah, on that note, I think I'll leave the video here. Like I mentioned before, if you enjoyed this content and like to see more Grand Chase in the future, you're more than welcome to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because we do Grand Chase content here on a weekly basis. And if you guys would like to leave your thoughts in the comments, more than welcome to leave them in the comments below. What do you guys think this update was nice and you were really excited as much as I am, or perhaps there's some things here and there that makes you a little disappointed. Feel free to put them in the comments. I always appreciate reading what you guys have to say. So yeah, on that note, I think I'll leave the video here. I've been recording for an hour. Once again, feeling to do these in less than 30 minutes. I know I talk a lot and it is what it is. So yeah, we're gonna leave it here. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Stay awesome, stay safe, have a great farm section today, and remember to claim these items because they're gonna disappear tomorrow. So if you haven't picked any of these, do them now before this ends. If the game is not yet on maintenance, which if it did, then I'm sorry. Anyway, see y'all next time. Peace.